All right. We already knew this for like weeks. The Padres were headed to the postseason, but tonight they officially clinched their spot in the postseason. A 5-4 win over the Milwaukee Brewers. Wow. What a roller coaster of emotions tonight. To walk it off like that, man. Again, like I just said, we've known for weeks that the Padres were going to make the postseason. And we've known for a good amount of time that, yeah, it's going to be the Cubs at Wrigley Field. And it's kind of like, let's fast forward to that. But the way it happened tonight, it wasn't the Padres losing tonight and then someone loses tomorrow, and so the Padres can back their way in, and that's how they clinch before a pitch is even thrown tomorrow night, or they find out during the game tomorrow night. Like no, they did it on a freaking walk off. That's pretty cool, and just how close it was, and the atmosphere feeling like a postseason game, and Don and Mud on the call. I just tweeted this out, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, because it sucks that we got to listen to Joe Davis or whoever call our postseason games. We don't get Don and Mud. Jesse and Tony, we do, and I love them. And I wasn't listening to their call live, so we'll see. Someone will post it, I'm sure. But to hear Don call that walk off and the Padres are headed to the postseason, I know he called the triple play last year too, at Dodger Stadium. But to get that moment, that's pretty cool. Because that's the closest that we're gonna get, right? Like a huge moment and Don's on the call. I know he's done no hitters, but like walk off to clinch a postseason spot, that's pretty darn cool. So I enjoyed that. And yeah, they got me again. Every year, it seems like. Every year when they clinch a postseason spot. Like I've known it again. I've known, right? We've known for weeks that they're gonna be in the postseason. And Fangraphs, 99% chance. Like it's gonna happen. So I don't know why. I do know why. I am getting emotional now. I was emotional watching that. It's just because I'm never going to take these for granted because it doesn't happen every year. And there are Padres fans that are much older than me that are watching this or listening to this, and they know way more than I do about the pain of being a Padres fan. But even just for me, who was in the stands in 2016 and 2017 and 2018 as a season ticket holder with my family, who still is. We've been through the bad teams and Jared Weaver getting booed off the mound and Craig Stammen giving up 4 consecutive home runs and Will Myers playing third base and being hyped about Asuaje and Renfroe and Manny Margot and even Ryan Schimpf, right? Carlos Villanueva, that great month that he had there as a rookie. Like we've been through all of that, and so to get it's still kind of like a pinch me when you look out there and Manny's on the team and Tatis and Merrill and Darvish and Musgrove and Suarez and Mason Miller, like all of Luis Arraez, just go down the list. So many really talented players on this team. And it's like, wow, they're Padres. Because it hasn't always been like that. So knew it was coming, but when that moment hits, it's different. And yeah, it's just different. It's awesome. Um, Clinching at home too. That was cool. Um, yeah, I know like other fan bases that make the postseason every year, they're they're used to it, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, you made the postseason, and I felt like that's how I was gonna feel tonight if they were to win because we were expecting it, but maybe it's just the way that it happened and hearing Don on the call. It was something about Don being on the call like that for a big moment like that because he's in your life every day. And it just sucks that I'm acting like he died. It just sucks that he's not going to be there for the big postseason moment calls, right? That's all. But yeah. How about the game though? Like back and forth, had Nick Pavetta starting this game, and this umpire sucked. He better not be. Who was this guy? He better not be doing Roberto Ortiz. Never heard of the guy, which is what you want if you're an umpire. You don't want to be known, but now he's known. Bad on both sides. And so Pavetta not getting the best calls, walks 5 guys, doesn't get through 6, but works into the 6th. And credit to guys like Kyle Hart and Ron Marinaccio, who don't allow any runs in an inning and a third to get this game to the 7th inning where Estrada goes to work and Suarez and Morejon. Like, credit to them for that. Because I know that there are going to be relievers that are going to get the shine, like Bradley Rodriguez. And he should. Like, he got that big double play, credit to him. But every out counts the same. And so those guys deserve that credit too, because Kyle Hart has been smashed by some with some of the performances that he's had. So when he has a good performance, you got to give him credit. Just like Jose Iglesias tonight. The faith the Padres had in him, or maybe the faith they just have in bunting overall. Iglesias, a terrible bunt. I mean, this is something that you're taught in Little League, to not poke at the ball. And he's right when I saw him wiggling his bat out like that, I'm like, oh no, this is not going to work out well. So there was no outs in that situation, and he bunts, pops it up, and obviously the game ends up extending there. But then he gets the bunt down it was that last half inning, I'm pretty sure, right? He gets the bunt down there in the 11th. No. Yeah, 11th. I thought it went 12 for a second. Gets the sack bunt down, gets the runner to third, and then Freddy Fermin with the single, and the game's over. So that was great. So, got to give credit where it's due. And he did get the bunt down. Still wasn't like the cleanest looking bunt, but it still got the job done. So that's all I care about. I got to give a huge shout out to Crony, because that diving play saved a run in that situation. Ball would have definitely gone into the gap. And with the runner on second, I don't care who's in right field. I don't care who's in center. Tatis wasn't feeling great, so he ends up not playing in this game. Laureano also got the half day off. He ends up pinch hitting there for Elias Diaz. But I don't care who's in the outfield. That's going to be a run scoring. So credit to him for saving that. Now, if we go back a little bit earlier to, I think it was the 10th inning, where you had Jose Iglesias attempt to throw the runner out at home on a spinning throw, and then you had the keyboard warriors out. 10th inning, I think it was Terang that was at third. Yeah, Terang was at third, and balls it up the middle. Iglesias grabs it, spins, all in one motion, throws home, and it's a perfect. It goes right to Fermin. Fermin didn't have to go to his right and then come back. It was a really close play. And I'm like, Iglesias made it as close as he could have. And then he had keyboard warriors like, oh, I could have made that throw. Noodle arm. I'm like, I'd like to see you go make that throw. Not just make the throw, but put it where Iglesias put it. And, oh, by the way, you have no time to make the play. You got to spin and make the throw. You're not going to do it as well as Jose Iglesias did it. You're not. Sorry. So it did feel weird, though, because, I was just saying terrible on the Iglesias bunt, and then minutes later, I'm like his biggest defender on that play. But that was a hard play. But anyway, that gave Milwaukee the lead. But then Padres tie it up. First baseman almost airmails I think it was the shortstop there. But he didn't. Force out. Game ends up being tied. 4-4. Rice scores. Bryce Johnson had the opportunity. Bases loaded in the 10th. He ends up grounding out on the force out. Crony makes the great play in the 11th. Runner was on second. Runner got to second, though, so it canceled out, but it did get it out. But that, again, it was not that the runner got to second eventually, Durbin, but he saved a run in that situation. That's really what mattered there. And then Bradley Rodriguez, huge double play. Crony takes it himself at the bag at second. Arises pumped up. Bases loaded situation there. I think it was, right? Yeah, bases loaded. 3-2 pitch, and he gets the grounder. Huge from him there. Then Freddy walks it off there in the 11th. A little bit of a hanger, 81, got a lot of the plate, sends it up the middle. Bryce Johnson scores. Also, someone I want to shout out, Bryce Johnson. That guy, you look at his average this year, it's pretty darn high now because he's coming in 358 with an 857 OPS. Yes, it's a pretty small sample size, but for him to come in, made a fantastic diving play earlier in the game. He's one of those guys that has helped the Padres win some baseball games this year. And it's one of those that he might be forgotten at some point, thinking about this team, but that's what makes a team. Are those I'm not saying Bryce Johnson's little, but the smaller players, the smaller role players, I should say, that aren't your superstars. Bryce Johnson, we think of him probably as an El Paso outfielder, but he's been more than that at the big league level for the Padres this year. And I would not be surprised if he makes the postseason roster for his speed, for his defense in case a situation calls for it. You know? Yeah, like, and even I don't would the Padres be scared to have him up there at the plate? I'm not gonna go as far to say that Bryce Johnson needs to be the first guy sent up there in a pinch hitting situation, but he's not. Sorry, this is the first guy that I thought of. He's not Austin Nola up there. You know, he could get you a hit. Nola did come through in that NLCS. I do got to give him credit there. But that, again, that's just the first person that I thought of. So sorry, Austin. But yeah, just a lot of different contributors in this game. Ryan O'Hearn, Sheets, obviously, Iglesias, couple of hits from him, a homer into the freaking second deck. Like, talk about surprising. So, yeah, just a team effort. Team effort for sure. And it's not just for this game, but this season. And I know every successful team, it has to be a team effort, obviously, like, duh. But if we go through this team from beginning of the season to now to clinching this postseason berth, there are players that you're probably not going to remember or think right off the top of your head that helped this team win baseball games this year. You know, I think of Jason Adam. I know he's hurt, but I think of him. I think of Randy Vasquez. I think of guys that make those spot starts, those relievers that come in. And even if it's a situation where they're just eating innings so that your bullpen can be rested for the next day, the next couple of days, and you win those games, guess what? Those guys helped you win games because those guys could pitch in those games that you won, not in the game that you end up getting blown out in and you're, you know, eating innings there. So it's a lot of guys that contribute. And while I know I just got a little emotional there about the Padres clinching, but while like a zoomed out fan view, I'm kind of like, all right, postseason, yeah, that's a step, but making the postseason doesn't make this a successful season. Like they got to do more than that. Um, so while fans can have that perspective and be like, yeah, they were supposed to, we knew that they were going to clinch. What I would say is players, coaches, staff, go enjoy the heck out of tonight. And then starting players, go get your rest the rest of this homestand before the postseason starts. Not every game, but you get what I'm saying. Go enjoy this. Because for those that don't know, working for a team, a pro sports team, um, I haven't obviously been in the clubhouse in Major League Baseball working there, but like there are long hours. This is your life. The medical staff, the clubhouse staff, chefs, this is like your life. Coaching staff, obviously, the long hours there. This is your life. Sometimes you go weeks without having a day off. And even on your day off, you're doing some sort of work on that day off. So, yeah, enjoy it. Like, you go into a regular season, sure, winning the division is nice, but all of those people that work in that clubhouse, your goal going into the season is to make the postseason because then that gives you a chance to go win that entire thing. And that's the whole goal here, right? It's not division titles. The whole goal is World Series title. So yeah, they all should enjoy this tonight. Every single one of them. support staff, I mean, front office staff, of course, all of them, because it is a group effort and they're away from their families a lot. Sometimes their day off could be in a city that they don't even want to be in, but that's just part of the job that's on their schedule. Um, I know that they have it pretty good as big leaguers, but still, that is a grind. And during the season, like, that's your life. And so, yeah, celebrate this moment. The amount of hours that players have put in, that staff has put into this moment, enjoy the heck out of it because you're not, like I was saying earlier, you're not guaranteed this. You don't know. You could be on paper, you could be great going into every season, but it's not guaranteed to you that you're going to be able to make the postseason. And obviously, there's financial stuff that goes along with this for staff and players um, with bonuses and stuff. So that's obviously great for them too. But yeah, it's not guaranteed. So don't take this for granted. I hope that people don't take it for granted. It's one thing. I think two things can be true. You can say, well, the standard is yeah, postseason and go deep in the postseason, but at minimum postseason. But also at the same time, you don't take for granted and you really appreciate that this team made the postseason because it is hard to do. And as a San Diegan, as a San Diego sports fan, I'm not taking it for granted any year that the Padres make the postseason. Uh, Now, at the same time, making the postseason isn't just a successful year for me. Like they got to do more, but I'm really happy that they made the postseason, obviously. And we knew that this was coming, obviously, for weeks, but just that moment of how it happened made me a little bit emotional. So that's what I've got. Shout out to the great partners of the show, by the way, Gagler and Bros, famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries. Their main location is on Friars Road. Check them out. They're down the third baseline. They're in the upper deck as well. Cheesesteaks, cheesesteak fries, garlic fries. Great, great food there at Petco and at Snapdragon Stadium. And then obviously, again, like their main location, like I just said, on Friars Road. Breaking Tea, they've got Padres and Aztec shirts and sweatshirts. Click the link in the description for that. I'm sure they'll probably have some sort of shirt commemorating this coming out, so stay tuned for that on their site. Again, click the link in the description for Breaking Team merch. And then SeatGeek, code Talking Friars. Yes, the Padres have already clinched, but if you want to go to another game coming up before this regular season ends, just trying to help you out there with that code. You will get a discount, $20 off your first order when you sign up with your email. Um, Maybe you want to save it for the postseason, and maybe there's going to be some tickets out there on SeatGeek. That would be if the Padres make it to the NLDS, because the wild card series will be likely, very likely, at Wrigley Field. But I'm glad that this is over now, so that they can get their rest, and we don't have to keep playing all of our A guys to clinch a postseason spot. Now you can give some other guys some time and give some time off for Manny because he needs it. Give some time off. Jackson probably would be like, no, I don't want it. But give your key guys, oh, all your starters are key guys. Like, come on. Give them a day at least a day. And give Manny what's fair for him. Because he probably doesn't want to get the entire next series off, right? But there's a day off on Thursday. So utilize that. Give him Wednesday and Thursday off, or give him Thursday and Friday off. Shoot, give him Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off. I want this guy ready to go. And what I'm thinking is like, if you give him 3 consecutive days, you already clinched a postseason spot, whatever, and then you can get him some at bats in the last 2 games of the season. You know, there is a day off before the wild card series, so that Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be the potentially three wild card games there, I believe. Um, so yeah, we'll see how they do that load management wise. I feel like I'm talking about the NBA, but we'll see how they do that. They are I'm seeing right now they are partying in the clubhouse. Yeah, Tatis not being in this is something, obviously, because he's obviously a big part of this team, one of the best players on this team, huge defensively this year, and we're seeing the power come back, so that's great. But yeah, he was a little bit ill, so they probably sent him home. And so he's probably maybe he's sleeping, maybe he's FaceTiming Manny right now in the clubhouse. I don't know, but he'll get his chance to celebrate, I would think. But yeah, they should enjoy this because it doesn't come around every year. It does not. We want it to, but just ask ourselves in 2023 when we watch that collapse. And 2021. 2023 wasn't really a collapse. They actually played really good at the end. I meant 2021, sorry. But 2023, that was just a really disappointing season. And you knew that they weren't going to be a postseason team. So, yeah. But 21, 23, yeah. And then obviously all the years before, right? 2019 included, where I wasn't expecting them to make the postseason, but the way it ended there, yeah, just not great. But I'm happy for us Padres fans because we're loyal. We've been through it. And obviously, there's a lot of fans that have experienced way more than I have, but I live and die with this team. And so when they have a moment like they did tonight, it was just such a special moment watching that. Such a special moment. And I think we're all forgetting, and I kind of am. Maybe that's why I'm saying we're all forgetting. They did it against the Brewers, who are the best team in the National League and could be a future opponent. We hope they will be a future opponent for the Padres in the postseason because that means that they have moved on past the wild card series, obviously. Got to get past there first, but Milwaukee, like these games between these two teams, I could totally see them being really competitive like this. And obviously, with what was at stake, the huge crowd, it did feel like postseason like there. Obviously, at the end, for sure, with extra innings and just the tension. Like, I was just sitting there watching it, hands folded and just kind of sweating. My palms were sweating a little bit. It felt big. It really did feel big. So I'm happy. I'm thankful that it's over though, because now we can just watch this baseball without stressing. Um, I guess we could stress over injuries happening, but can't. We can't control any of this, obviously. So we shouldn't be stressing over anything. But my point is, obviously, postseason clinched, and now let's just finish this regular season and get ready for the wild card series. It's gonna be so fun, so fun. I can't wait. The National League, all of the series will be fun to watch. If you look up what the series could be, I mean, all of these teams, it's probably going to be pretty fun to watch. So can't wait. Thank you all for watching or listening to this reaction, listening, watching all season long. Much appreciated. During the postseason, I probably will go live after games. I know I've been doing less and less of that, but what I have seen is more people do see, at least on YouTube, when I upload videos and not go live. But postseason, I think that's a little bit different. Going live, engaging with you guys, because I really do appreciate you guys. The channel wouldn't be what it is without you. Um, so I probably will go live there. But I do see that more people see the videos, and I want as many people to see the reaction tonight because it was a special night. Padres clinching a postseason berth. But yes, I will go live for postseason. So just wanted to say that. But thank you all again. Much appreciated. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. And we can kind of exhale because the Padres, they're officially in the postseason.